Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, the 76th inauguration took place this past Monday as Mayor Nancy Stevens took an oath to her third two-year term. The superintendent search process is moving along as the school committee aims to select the department's new leader in just a few months. Plus, thanks to increased distributions, the Marlborough Board of Health will be holding a citywide H1N1 vaccine clinic. And later in this half hour, despite the down economy, Marlborough showed some growth in 2009. We'll take a look back at some additions to the city. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. The 76th inauguration ceremony featured oaths of office, performances by the Marlborough High School Choir, and a special moment from your mayor, Nancy Stevens. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more in this week's top story. The 76th inauguration welcomed numerous city officials, the mayor, and the a cappella chorus from Marlborough High School to the 4 to 7 school on Monday morning. During Mayor Nancy Stevens' speech, she touted the city's financial health while calling for a balance between city employee and taxpayer needs in the new term. Voters re-elected Stevens to a third two-year term in November. Stevens cited a stabilization fund that has risen from about $1 million to $7.3 million during her time as mayor.
We are in a much better financial position than the vast majority of the cities and towns in Massachusetts.
The mayor commended the work of her administration, finance team, the city council, department heads, and employees.
On a daily basis, I rely on my colleagues in city government who share my focus on service and not politics to help me lead our city. It should come as no surprise to anyone who attends city council meetings or watches TV that we do not always agree on the means to achieve our common goals, but our common goals are the same.
She also said that the city is the envy of communities for other reasons, including good schools and facilities.
Marlborough is the envy of many of our surrounding communities, and not only because of our financial health. We have excellent schools, well-run departments, and exceptional facilities. As elected officials, we can take credit for many of the good things that happen in our city, but we are only 18 people. We make up a very small percentage of the people that serve our residents. We may set the tone, but it is our employees that serve our residents directly on a daily basis.
Stevens looked back to her last term, pointing to the opening of a French Hill police substation and the installation of energy-efficient windows in the senior housing complex at 240 Main Street. Stevens closed her address by calling on residents to help, from increasing weekly recycling to volunteering at the senior center.
I ask you today, what will you choose to do this year to make Marlborough a better place? Thank you to my family and my friends for your love and encouragement. Thank you all for your support and for placing your confidence in me. And thank you for your continued contributions to our community.
If you happen to miss Monday's event, you can view the 76th inauguration in its entirety on WMCT-TV. Visit our website for playing times.
The superintendent's search process is moving along as the school committee aims to select the department's new leader by April 30th. The school committee has now approved an informational brochure to be used during the search process, which includes the timeline, job responsibilities, and school district facts. The deadline for applications is scheduled for February 11th. Finalists will be selected on March 11th and interviewed by April 1st, according to the new timeline. The new superintendent's first day is scheduled for July 1st. Superintendent Mary Carlson, who took the job temporarily after McGann left, is retiring next year. The superintendent's search committee, which includes city officials and residents, will meet next on January 14th. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
Now, don't forget the school committee is looking for your input as well on the search for a new superintendent. You can now access a survey by logging on to Zoomerang.com. Earlier this month, an official from the Massachusetts Association of School Committees led focus groups for parents, community members, and staff. And the goal was to get a feel as to what residents and staff are looking for in a leader. Search committee members welcome all feedback and encourage all to visit the site. The city will be holding an H1N1 flu vaccine clinic for residents this Saturday, January 9th. The clinic will be held at the grades 4 to 7 school from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and is for ages 2 and up. The Board of Health currently has 2,800 doses of the vaccine and are awaiting 800 more. For more information, please call the Board of Health at 508-460-3751. Walk-ins are welcome. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, we take a look back at a touching fundraising event. But first, despite the current economic conditions, condo sales are up thanks to a local redevelopment. We'll have that story when we come back. Stay with us.
Every 2 seconds, someone in America needs blood. Nearly 5 million Americans will need a life-saving blood transfusion this year alone.
Every blood donation can save up to 3 lives. While many people know about the chronic shortage in the blood supply across the country, very few people are doing anything about it.
We need your help. Giving blood is easy. It only takes about an hour of your time.
Be a hero. Be a blood donor. Help us save a life.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. It's time to take a look back at the year 2009. Despite a weakened economy this past year, condo sales are currently 18% of the market in Marlborough, thanks to the St. Mary's French Hill redevelopment project. Phase 2 of the project is nearing completion, and there was a recent open house that allowed the public to peek inside at just that. Take a look.
We're looking for another project like this. It's very hard to find. This was a gem.
Phase 2 of the redevelopment of St. Mary's Church in the French Hill neighborhood is on its way to completion.
A lot of the people around here got married here, had confirmation. Actually, my son had his confirmation here, and I taught CCD here. And I used to be outside waiting for my son to come out. Now I wait for customers. Did you ever think you'd ever see that?
The school and rectory buildings were completed earlier, and construction of 11 new townhomes is about to begin.
They should be ready probably around, I want to say spring or probably early summer.
From elevated ceilings to wraparound staircases and lofts, these condos have it all.
We've built the old into the new, and we've offered choice of cabinets, hardwood flooring, choice of paint colors, stainless steel appliances. I mean, for the value for your money, it's absolutely worth it.
Our cameras witnessed one finished unit and numerous semi-finished ones.
We have 10 units here. 1 is left, and we've sold 9. And we'll be starting the townhomes shortly. We're actually breaking ground today.
We spoke with Lynn Gorka, the listing real estate agent for the St. Mary's development, and we asked her why she feels these condos are selling so fast.
One is because they're new, it's location and condition. So those are all the big factors. And the price. The price is phenomenal.
Many city and civic leaders were expected Thursday to a project that has preserved the special architectural qualities while welcoming in new qualities. One special quality that Gorka did point out was that the pews of the church have been made into railings on the second floor, and the remaining pews will be positioned outside of the church to be used as outdoor benches. Old photos of the church will be hung inside the building to ensure that all residents passing through will be able to appreciate the church's past. French Hill neighborhood residents have been overwhelmingly positive with this new development.
It's really taken French Hill and it's brought it up tremendously, and the clientele of people that have moved here, a lot of them are from Boston, a lot of them still work in Boston, they commute with a train, and they're all young executives. They all have fantastic jobs, and very, very nice, and we're happy to see all of that.
We will keep you posted on the 11 new townhomes that will be developed next year. On to more growth here in the city as Special Olympics Massachusetts officially opened its new headquarters this past fall. The Yawkey Sports Training Center, a 25,000 square foot facility, is located at 512 Forest Street. In case you haven't made it over to see it yet, we met with the facility's CEO to take a tour and to hear all the details.
We want to have a major impact on the quality and availability of health care for people with intellectual disabilities, and we're going to do that here at this building.
The headquarters of Special Olympics Massachusetts is officially here and has begun training at this beautiful 25,000 square foot Yawkey Sports Training Center located at 512 4th Street.
We conceived of the idea about 6 years ago. We started putting things on paper and developing architectural designs, and about a year ago we broke ground, and and actually took ownership and moved in on October 13th.
The reason this facility was built in Marlborough is because it's central in New England. It's less than a 90-minute drive for 90% of the population living in Massachusetts.
We have an enormous training responsibility. We have 1,650 coaches, all of whom require some degree of training, certification, and then recertification every 3 years. We have another 12,000 volunteers. We have 25 staff. We have 25 board members. We have countless family members, all of whom will benefit from the training that will take place in this building.
The facility has 2 floors. The ground floor houses a full-size gym, computer training facilities, video conferencing capabilities, and 5 multi-purpose conference rooms. Offices are located on the 2nd floor.
We're able to bring our coaches here, do the classroom training in the classrooms, in the conference rooms, and then have them go directly into the gymnasium for their practical training.
Eunice Kennedy Shriver's picture is located in several areas of the building. Johnson believes that she had a profound impact on how people perceive individuals with disabilities.
Her goal was really to take them out of the darkness and into the light, give them an opportunity to show the world that they are capable of doing far more than anyone ever thought.
The training that's taught at this facility is given to volunteers around the area who want to make a difference in the lives of others, which is focused around the gift of sports.
Sports is what we do. It's what we've always done. It's what we do best. It's what we'll always do. We want to provide our athletes with an opportunity for a longer, happier, healthier, more fulfilling life through sports.
Johnson admits this new facility has been a long time coming, and they are overjoyed with the results.
This building is going to give us a launching pad for doing some tremendous things for people with intellectual disabilities over the course of the next few years in particular.
Sticking with sports, the city held their annual Relay for Life event aimed at raising money for the American Cancer Society this past May, exceeding last year's fundraising totals by thousands of dollars. Planning for the 2010 Relay has begun, but we thought we would take a look back at this year's event. Here's a look at the 2009 Relay for Life. The American Cancer Society's Relay for Life for Marlborough and Hudson kicked off last Friday evening with a celebration of life at Colony Park. The event battled cancer once again this year. The fundraising effort with Bob Kays as chairman this year has been going on for months. This year, an outstanding 67 teams took part in this life-changing event. Many teams choose to participate in someone's honor, usually a cancer survivor or victim. Hundreds of residents gathered Friday afternoon to begin campsite setup. As the day progressed, several activities unfolded. Opening ceremonies took place at 7 p.m.
While each of us have a unique reason for being here, we all have something very much in common. We want to make a difference in the fight against cancer.
6 years ago, I lost my dad to kidney cancer, and I wish my dad was here to walk in the survivor's lap. But I have so many people that I care about that are here tonight, and I'm so glad to be a part of this. I am honored and privileged to be sharing this with you tonight.
Next was the always emotional Survivor's Lap, a lap walked only by cancer survivors to show everyone that there is hope in battling this disease. That was immediately followed by the Caregiver's Lap, a lap walked by family members and others who have cared for cancer patients as caregivers join the survivors. All proceeds from the relays go to the American Cancer Society. In addition, individuals often set up booths and sell items for the cause during the relays as well. As you can see, our cameras went home as soon as the sun went down, but the event carried on without us until the next morning. Everyone in the community came to the relay to have a great time, stay all night, and help out a terrific cause. From fundraising for cancer to dealing with cancer, a local healing garden in Harvard, Massachusetts offers to help those and their families battling breast cancer. We met with a representative of the Virginia Thurston Healing Garden to learn more.
For people who are in treatment and may not be feeling their best, they can still be in this beautiful space.
Tucked away on a wooded hillside in Harvard, Massachusetts, the Virginia Thurston Healing Garden is an educational nonprofit dedicated to providing a community of support to facilitate the healing process for women experiencing breast cancer.
The Healing Garden was founded in 2000, and the idea was to provide a community of support for women with breast cancer and their families.
Their community extends services to individuals and families as they offer mind-body medicine, education about choices that contribute to health, methods for managing stress, and for improving quality of life.
While the medical procedures and the hospital part of a cancer journey is a part of the journey, it's not the whole journey, and people need to be able to cope with cancer and put their lives back together.
Services are directed at helping you heal, a process that often involves more than medical treatments and procedures.
We have 3 treatment rooms, and we offer the sort of supportive care like acupuncture, massage, sort of gentle body work that helps people cope with the treatment.
The Healing Garden facilities are situated in the midst of 8 acres of lush gardens. The rolling lawns invite walking, and many secluded nooks afford quiet reflection or intimate conversation.
A lot of the services that we do here are based in the idea that nature is a great place for reflection on going through the cancer experience.
The varied spaces include small hedged gardens, grassy paths, fountains, sitting areas overlooking sweeps of lawns, a gazebo, ponds, benches, and lots of flowers.
The smells, the sights of nature are really helpful.
The garden offers services to individuals battling with breast cancer despite their ability to pay.
When a woman comes in these doors and she doesn't have the ability to pay for the kinds of supportive care she needs, we can step up and provide that, both through a reduced fee, sliding scale fee, and through donor support.
For more information, please call the Healing Garden in Harvard at 978-456-3532 or go to healinggarden.net. To learn more about the Healing Garden, check out this month's edition of Helping Hands. Check our website at WMCT-TV.com for details. Coming up, the new year could mean a new you with a few simple steps, and we'll have this week's sports wrap-up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Okay. Good night, honey.
Can you kiss Smokey too?
Sure, I can kiss Smokey too. Good night, Smokey. Sleep dreams, okay? Night, hon. I love you.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. It's a new year, and it's a great time for people to begin to take a look at their lifestyle and make it a healthier one with simple changes. We spoke with a local personal trainer to see what it takes to get in shape in 2010.
At the beginning of every year, most people set some sort of New Year's resolution involving exercise or health and fitness. And unfortunately, about 85% of them never make it past January.
To ensure that all residents succeed past January 31st this year, Crowley gives us the lowdown on how to slim down.
One of the best things with exercise is that they need to develop a consistent plan. There are no quick fixes, and you need to be able to do something on a regular basis. And a lot of people set themselves up for failure by asking themselves to do too much or too many expectations.
Despite the current status of the economy, money is tight, but that doesn't mean you have to forego the benefits of having a personal trainer. That's where group training steps in.
Which is a lot like personal training, but basically 2 to 4 people are splitting the cost of the trainer. And we found this to be very economical. And the trainers really enjoy this too, because we can get results with people and it works for everybody.
Here are 3 tips to revamp your diet.
Make sure you eat breakfast. A lot of people think by not eating breakfast they're going to lose weight, and have found out that people who eat breakfast definitely have a lower weight or lose more weight than those who don't. Make sure you're hydrated. Even during the cold weather, our bodies lose a lot of fluid, and a lot of people go through a lot of their time being dehydrated. And the third thing is, it sounds like when your mom, when you were small, eat your fruits and vegetables, but very few people eat the required amount of fruits and vegetables. And this is critical not only to weight loss, but overall health.
For some, tackling their diet and their exercise routine can be a bit of a challenge, but Crowley gave us some quick, simple moves to get us going. Here are 3 moves you can do right at home.
The first one is a bench push-up, which you can use a bench, you can use a chair at home as long as it's sturdy. You put your hands shoulder width apart. We want to stay straight from the shoulder right through to your feet. And what I'm going to do is just lower my chest towards here and come up. I'm going to come down for 2 seconds, pause for 1, and then up for 1. Second exercise I'm going to do is a step up. You want to find a step that when you put your foot up on here, we have a 90-degree bend at the knee and at the hip. If this is too difficult, you can use a footstool or something smaller. You may want to make sure you have something you can grab hold of if you need to for extra balance. So what we're going to do is put our foot up. We're going to stay nice and tall. I'm going to pull with the front leg, and I'm going to come all the way up, pause, and again, I'm going to come down under control. By doing a single leg, we're not only getting strength in our quads, hamstrings, and glutes, but we're also working on stability throughout the ankle, the knee, and the hip. The third exercise I'm going to show you is a real simple band exercise, which is going to work the upper back and the shoulder blades. Really helps on offsetting all the faulty posture that most people have. You take some sort of a band, doesn't need to be a very heavy band, and you want to anchor it to something immovable. It could be in a door jamb, a doorknob, a sturdy table. Just make sure it's really secure. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to stand away from it. My arms are going to be here, my thumbs are going to face up, and I'm going to pull all the way, squeeze my shoulder blades, and then come back under control. So coming out for 2, and then in for 2.
Today we have Hennessy. And Hennessy is a miniature pincher, very popular amongst truck drivers because they're small, but they're great little watchdogs. And so they can sit in the trucks and keep the truck drivers company. Hennessy here is a family dog. He's very well trained. He knows all his commands. Unfortunately, his owner passed away, and so he's looking for a new home. He's only about 1.5 years old. He's a neutered male, and he's up to date on all of his medical. If you're interested in Hennessy, please feel free to call us at the shelter. The number is 978-443-6990.
Happy New Year, Marlborough. I'm Rob O'Keefe, and here's your sports update. Let's start at Assabet Valley versus Whittier Tech in what looked like a lopsided game on paper, turned out to be one of the most exciting matchups of the season. Whittier Tech of Haverhill coming in at 7-0 and beating their opponents by an average of 17 points. Early in the game, Whittier's Keisha Rodriguez hits from downtown, followed by another 3-point shot from Kendra Basil. Assabet stayed tough. Coach Frank Ferrier talks about creating chaos on the court, and here's a little chaos from Ashley Salem, trying to steal the ball away. In the second half, Assabet Valley shows they have some pretty good shooters of their own. Senior captain Chelsea Jubert, who had 10 points on the day, hits a 3-pointer. Marlborough's own Nikki Soto hits from beyond the arc. She had 10 points as well. And here's where it got good. Assabet Valley down by 3 with 8 seconds left. Good ball movement. Ashley Salem with a beautiful shot from beyond the arc ties the game and sends it into overtime. Unfortunately, in OT, Chelsea Jubert would foul out, leaving her on the bench and the rest of the team out of gas. Whittier would pull away and win the game 55-46 to remain undefeated on the season. Here's Coach Frank Ferrier.
I think it was a well-played game for the most part. I think both teams made some mistakes, but it was very, very physical. Both teams played aggressive. I think we blew some opportunities on foul shooting, but you know, with the intensity that was going both ways, sometimes just that little bit of a knock over the course of the game kind of wears on you, and we just didn't hit that last shot to make the difference there. We did a great job forcing it in overtime, but I think at that point, we just kind of ran out of gas. We just had too much foul trouble and just ran out of gas.
Staying with girls basketball, the Lady Panthers took on Westboro. Here's senior Sarah Clark driving to the basket and drawing a foul. Despite being a young team, Marlborough can still score some points. Samantha Kahn shows off her jump shot here. But the star for Marlborough on this night would be Emily Riley. Wearing the face mask a la Rip and scoring like Rip, she would collect 36 points on the night. Her best shot by far would come in the closing seconds of the first half when she drives down the court, throws the ball up at the buzzer for three, and gave the Panthers a 28-27 lead at the half. The Rangers would eventually pull away and win this game, but not forgotten in the loss is Emily Riley's performance from the foul line. She hit 15 for 15 foul shots, 13 of those coming in the second half. Westboro went on to win 63-53. The Panthers fall to 3-5 on the season. And after a great season, which took the Panther football team all the way to the Super Bowl, Marlborough walked away with both Division IB offensive and defensive MVPs. A.C. Carter was named the offensive MVP by the Central Massachusetts Coaches Association, and Neil Vigent was named the defensive MVP. Marlborough also had 5 other All-Stars named to the team. Quarterback A.J. Serra, offensive lineman Mike Cahally, return specialist Evan Purvis, linebacker Adrian DeJesus, and defensive back Tyler Redding. That's it for sports this week. We'll see you next week.
Still ahead, Christmas tree pickup plans, but first, a look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Kane Elementary School is about to host a snowball. It will be taking place on Friday, January 15th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. There will be a DJ, dancing, arts and crafts, and many refreshments for sale. For more information, please call the Kane School at 508-460-3507. And before we go, Christmas trees will be picked up yet again this year, curbside for your convenience beginning next week. Here are the details.
The Department of Public Works will be picking up Christmas trees from January 11th to January 29th. Residents should leave trees curbside on the same day as trash pickup. Trees must be free of tinsel, ornaments, and bows, and must not be in bags or stands. The department will also pick up trees at condos on the city's regular trash pickup route. Residents can also bring trees to a drop-off area at Galone Park until the last week in January. Residents with a residential sticker can bring trees to the We Care environmental drop-off site at 856 Boston Post Road East. For more information, please call 508-624-6910.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. We'll see you again next week.
Coming up right now on Marlborough This Week, a look at Marlborough's first public H1N1 vaccine clinic, plus how to stay safe during this icy winter, and fun activities for your children just down the road at your local library. Those stories and more, all on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Marlborough held its first community-wide H1N1 vaccine clinic this past weekend. More than 800 residents took advantage of the opportunity to receive the vaccination. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Hillary Coughlin. Here's more on this week's top story. More than 60 volunteers and staff members attended the H1N1 clinic this past Saturday at the middle school and was successful in vaccinating more than 800 people. Bob Landry, the director of the Board of Health, explained despite the controversy over the vaccination, most people are choosing to receive the vaccination.
May and June of last year, we recognized that this virus was beginning to spread. Being a novel virus, being a new virus to us, and having to develop a vaccine, what we try to do is get as many people vaccinated as possible.
There was an online pre-registration option which was helpful as it allowed people to sign up for the vaccination in the comfort of their own homes.
They come in, they pre-register, they go through the screening process, then they go through a forms review process with registered nurses. Then they're free to go in and get either the nasal mist, if it's appropriate, or the vaccine via a shot.
Michelle Canovas, a nurse practitioner, said that it is encouraged to receive the vaccination as H1N1 is a new virus.
As you know, it's been difficult for us to get vaccine as it has for everyone across the country, but now that vaccine is more available and is being transported into cities more easily, we were able to offer the first H1N1 vaccine here in Marlborough.
When residents arrived at the middle school, they were screened by a nurse before receiving the treatment.
People can get the intranasal vaccine, which is a nasal spray, and other people get the injectable vaccine. And there's a series of questions to determine which one that people get.
There have already been 2 different strains of the disease in New England. Therefore, it is important to protect yourself.
There's been a lot of talk about do I or don't I need the H1N1 vaccine. We've already had 2 rounds of it coming through the New England area, and there is a high possibility that it can return again in the spring, and we want to keep people protected from it.
If you were not able to attend the clinic this past weekend, you can receive the H1N1 vaccination any Tuesday at the Board of Health office right here in Marlborough.
For any other information, they can always call the Board of Health at 508-460-3751.
The City Council meeting took place this past Monday night, and the most pressing topic was the possibility of a Sonic restaurant coming to Marlborough in the near future. Sonic is a restaurant chain with 3,600 locations all over the country. If passed, this would be the 2nd location in Massachusetts, with the first being in Peabody. It would be located on Boston Post Road near the Bank of America. Council members expressed their concerns, including traffic buildup and snow removal. The 1.2 acres that is available for the project allows for 27 stalls for drive-up customers, as well as a drive-through to prevent traffic. The advantages of the restaurant would include job opportunities for youth in the area. Sonic has seen 130 jobs open up in their newest location in Peabody. The project will be meeting with the Urban Affairs Committee in the coming weeks. At this week's school committee meeting, a Marlborough student named Julian Wilner was acknowledged for her phenomenal writing skills while staying involved in both cross-country and the high school music program. Her essay, which she read aloud before the committee, touched upon her experience in the school's wind ensemble. She expressed that the program could be used as a metaphor for her life's composition. She was chosen as an example for Marlborough High's exceptional academic and art program. The 2008 Adolescent Health Survey result came in and showed that Marlborough's youth, including grades 6 through 12, feel that they have a strong attachment to their school and have a trusted adult that they can turn to in a time of crisis. Lastly, the Marlborough Public School System is launching their new and improved website. It will be up and running after Martin Luther King weekend. This will make it possible to keep up with what is going on in all of Marlborough Public Schools in one place. Make sure to check it out next week at mps-edu.org. At Tuesday's Wireless Committee meeting, there was a discussion about possibly upgrading the antenna at the Countryside apartment located at 460 Boston Post Road. The upgrade would allow for high-speed data to connect more efficiently and would operate similar to a Wi-Fi connection. The project does follow FCC guidelines, which was the concern of the committee. The antenna will not do away with the basic voice network that Sprint already carries. The committee will need the City Council's approval and permission to move forward with this project. For Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
Marlborough firefighter Mark Asenko would like to warn the citizens of the town to stay off the ice during this winter season. With temperatures at record lows, it is important to keep you and your loved ones safe. Here's more.
Due to the recent ice tragedies in the New England area, the Marlborough Fire Department would like to remind you to please stay off the ice. There is no way of knowing how safe it can be. Snowmobiles and ATVs should stay on dry land. And if you want to skate, please use your local ice rink. Please be safe this winter season.
If you're looking for more activities for your young children, the Marlborough Public Library has many weekly and monthly activities. Each program will keep your child occupied while enriching them with new skills. We spoke with the children's librarian, who told us more about the various activities going on in the library right now.
The library is a really good place to come, especially during the winter when it's cold outside, because we have a lot of activities going on. From now until April vacation week, we're going to have a special program every month.
Make sure to check out next week's Indian Cooking for Children class on January 21st from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. The class is open to all children between the ages of 6 and 12.
We have a performer coming to teach the kids how to cook Indian food. She has very specific dishes. Most of them are going to be very easy so that young children can do them with parental supervision.
For more information on these programs, contact the Children's Room at 508-624-6902. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, the American Red Cross reaches out at this week's community blood drive. But first, local nurses and volunteers help those in need. Stay with us.
Firefighter Mark, back with a winter ice safety tip for you. Daily changes in temperatures cause the ice to expand and contract, which affects its strength. If someone does fall through the ice, act quickly and call 911 immediately. Do not go out on the ice to help someone who has fallen in. Would-be rescuers become victims themselves. Extend a branch, pole, or ladder to the victim. Cold water does not have to be icy. It just has to be colder than you are to cause hypothermia. And hypothermia can be deadly. And remember, the only safe ice is at the ice rink.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. The recent earthquake in Haiti has raised local awareness and motivated residents to get involved. Bread of Compassion is sending much-needed help from nurses and medical staff to aid the struggling country. The Wayland-based nonprofit organization, Bread of Compassion, will be sending over 23 health professionals to assist with the disaster after the earthquake this past week in Haiti. The trip is scheduled to take place March 1st. The trip was scheduled before the event of the earthquake. The organization has trips to Haiti twice a year. They are now planning on another trip, which will hopefully take place before the already scheduled March 1st date to help during this crisis. The president of the organization, Joe Sapienza, spoke to us about the importance of health professionals and volunteers to help out in such a time of need.
Bread of Compassion is a nonprofit 501c3 organization located here in Metro West. And our goal and mission is we connect caring people with those in need around the world. There was this earthquake, devastating earthquake, that has affected millions of people in Port-au-Prince. It's a very packed city. And just so happens I am going to have medical clinics there from March 1st to March 8th. And I have a team of 23 individuals that are going from Marlborough. They're coming from Ashland, from Natick, from Wayland. They're coming even into Boston. I have a group of Haitian nurses that are joining us.
I've been passionate about missions for a long time, and it's just in the past 7 years that I've been able to go on these trips. After the first trip, you are really hooked because you go into people who have maybe never seen a doctor or a nurse, never had any health care, and you can make a difference in their life with a small thing.
I'm one of the healthcare providers for Bread of Compassion, been 3 times to Haiti. We saw so many that were ill and malnutritioned, and I can't imagine after this earthquake with no water available or food that it's going to be even worse when we go in March.
If you would like to donate to Bread of Compassion, money is needed to ship out all of the supplies, as well as more of the supplies themselves. There is a great need for medicine and antibiotics, along with any kind of clothing. You can contact the nonprofit at breadofcompassion.com. Community blood drives are a great way residents can help the American Cross. Blood supplies are low, and they are always looking for donors. We attended this week's community blood drive in Marlborough. Take a look. The American Red Cross was at the Masonic Hall this past Wednesday afternoon for their bi-monthly blood drive. January is a time of year in which people tend to be under the weather, and this results in a shortage of donations. We spoke with a recruiter for the American Red Cross for more information on how you can help.
We've had a difficult month with severe weather, and a lot of our donors who have had colds and flus are not able to donate. If anybody wants to donate, they can call 1-800-GIVE-LIFE, and they can find out any blood drives in the Central Mass area and where they can donate.
If you are healthy during this winter season and want to donate blood, please attend the next blood drive at the Masonic Hall on January 23rd from 2:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Coming up, a celebration of local artists and their work. And we'll have this week's sports wrap-up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Okay. Good night, honey. Can you kiss Smokey too?
Sure, I can kiss Smokey too. Good night, Smokey. Sleep dreams, okay? Night, hun. I love you. Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. The Arts Alliance is celebrating 20 years of sharing local artwork with the community. We spoke to the Public Relations Director for the Arts Alliance to find out more.
The Arts Alliance is a non-profit charitable organization that brings all kinds of different arts for all different types of people and events to the Hudson-Marlborough area. Throughout the whole year, we continuously show artwork by Arts Alliance member artists.
The Arts Alliance is celebrating their 20th anniversary this Saturday, January 16th, by hosting a Taste of the Art Gala. The event will take place at the Hudson Library from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. and will feature local artists' work. The gala promises to be an enjoyable night with entertainment and refreshments and is a great chance for the community to come together to appreciate local art.
Well, it's important to come to the gala to sort of reflect on how important the arts are in our economy, especially in today's world.
Today we have Toby, and Toby is a very sweet little boy who came to us all the way from South Carolina, where he surely would have been euthanized because there's so many dogs in that area that don't have homes. So we try whenever we can to help out dogs from the area whenever we have space and all our local dogs are taken care of. We'll take in dogs like Toby. He's going to be a great family pet. He has lots of energy, but he's friendly. He seems to get along well with other dogs. Hopefully with a little bit of training, he'll be a good family pet. If you're interested in Toby, please feel free to call us at the shelter. The number is 978-443-6990.
Rob O'Keefe here. Let's get started with some Assabet girls hoops. Assabet taking on Monty Tech of Fitchburg earlier in the week. Chelsea Jubert after the steal, creating her own offense, driving down the court for two. Here she is again, leading the pack on the breakaway for another two. But wait, there's more Chelsea. Ashley Salem gives it back to Chelsea as she finds a hole in traffic for another 2 points. 19 points on the night for her. But Chelsea wasn't the only Jubert finding the bottom of the net on the night. She finds her sister Vanessa down low, who lays it in. Together, the Jubert sisters almost outscored the entire Monty Tech offense with a combined 31 points. Here's Nikki Soto with a nice shot from downtown for three. Junior Ashley Salem's also having a big year for the Aztecs, and here she fights through traffic with a nifty move for two. She would end up with 9 points on the night. Again, Nikki Soto with a nice power move on the baseline for two more. Even with a huge lead late in the game, the Aztec girls don't quit. Ashley Salem hustles for the rebound, stays in bound, and finds Lori DeMars for the score. Assabet Valley goes on to win 57-32. They had two more wins later in the week. Here's Coach Frank Ferrer, who believes when it comes to winning, good is the enemy of great.
This wasn't the finest basketball game that I've ever been part of, but I guess the good news is that we played well enough just to kind of come out with the right score. So I guess I'll leave it at that.
Wednesday night, Naven Rink was packed for some puck as Marlborough hosted Westboro. No score until late in the second period. when Marlborough unleashes some nice puck movement as soon as the defenseman finds Hanahan for the one-timer, and Hayden Voss tips it in for the first score, 1-0 Marlborough. Seconds later, Kyle Griffin with a nice drop pass to Dylan LaForce, who goes high glove side, making it 2-0. In the third period, the Panthers pull away. Kyle Griffin wanted to test that glove side again, and he puts the puck in the back of the net, making it 3-0 Marlborough. The Panthers outshot Westboro 31-25, and goalie Eric Carlson had a great night in the net for the Panthers with 24 saves, even with Westboro crashing hard to the net. Late in the third, the Panthers make it official when Hayden Voss, nice toe drag, flips it to Cody Evangelis, and Cody Evangelis gets his own rebound and slams it home. The Panthers go on to win the game 4-1 and improve their record 6-3-1. Here's Coach John Butler.
It was a good game. The kids stuck to the game plan. They worked hard. We knew Westboro was going to give us come to compete. So, we were patient. We hit the post a couple times in the first period. I told the kids, just keep working hard. Once it rains, it's going to pour. You get a first one, get the second one, and stick to the game plan, keep working, win the one-on-one battles, and you'll be fine. And the kids stuck to the game plan, which is great.
Now from the ice to whatever you call that surface at the field house, both MHS indoor track teams are off to a good start early on, and we stopped by to get the lowdown from the coaches.
This season so far, we are 2-0 in the league, and we have, unfortunately, our three, and the rest of the league meets at the end of the season. We had a huge win the other day against Neshoba. We beat them by about 12 to 15 points, and we haven't beaten Neshoba for about 10 years at least. So the season's off to a really good start. We have a huge junior class this year, which does really well for us. Top performers this season so far, we have Mike Bryant, who does between the 1,000-mile and 2-mile for us. Alex Kunicki, whatever race we need him in from the 600 up to the 2-mile. He just qualified in the 600 the other day for states, so he had a great performance. Josh Smito in the high jump just qualified for states as well with 5.10 his best jump this season. We also have Nick Lombardi, who's undefeated in the 300, and he's close to qualifying for states, as is Kyle McKinnon. However, he's hurt and injured.
So far, we're doing pretty well. I'm pretty happy about the progress we've made. We've got 2 victories under our belt in only 2 competitions, and some really good performances so far this year in some invitational and open meets. So pretty happy. A big win against Quabbin, and then another big win against Neshoba that was expected to be a little bit closer than it was, and we ended up having a great day. We've got a team full of fantastic ladies this year. Gwen Hogan on 2 miles and has been doing great for us in 2 miles. Kathy Withers has been kind of an all-purpose athlete for us. She's been running the 600 meters, she ran the mile, she's been running 4x400 meter relay, and 1,000 meters. Allie Oram has finally come back, and she's been running for us a 2 mile, and she can run the mile. She's a pretty good distance utility athlete.
And finally, we can't forget about MHS wrestling. Let's check out what's going on the mat.
We've had a season this year, a lot of tough matches. Everyone's holding their own, doing what they got to do to win. Coach tells them what they need to do, they go out there and do it. A couple of our good wrestlers are Evan Merck at 135, Pete Wombold at 130, Chris Kroll at 189, Andre Carbonneau at 145, and Tyke Ferguson at 140.
That's it for sports this week. We'll see you next time.
Still ahead, a reminder to give back. But first, your 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Well, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Before we go, we would like to remind you to donate blood at the next community blood drive. The next blood drive is coming up on Saturday, January 23rd at Masonic Hall, located on Main Street. please call 1-800-GIVE-LIFE for more information. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Hillary Coughlin. We'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, Republican Scott Brown pulls off the impossible as he snagged the available Senate seat on Tuesday. Several students lended a hand at the polls, making it an easier process for one polling site. Plus, one local bank continues to make progress in the dead of winter. And later in this half hour, triathlon buzz is brewing as athletes begin to sign up for a local race. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. More than 2 million Massachusetts voters went to the polls in a special election on Tuesday, electing Scott Brown to a post that has not been held by a Republican since 1979. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on Tuesday's election.
The voter turnout was good, 58.26%. I would have liked it to hit a little bit closer to 70%. But more than half the voters, the registered voters, of which we have 20,449 registered voters, of those voters, 12,000 came out to vote.
Of those voters, here's how Marlborough voted in Tuesday's U.S. Senate special election. Republican Scott Brown had 6,817 votes. Democrat Martha Coakley finished with 5,037 votes, and Independent Joseph Kennedy clocked in with 128. City Clerk Lisa Thomas reported only one problem with Tuesday's election.
We did have a problem with one of the machines, but because we have backup programming cards, we're able to simply replace it. We test our equipment with both programming cards, the main one as well as the backup. So there are things that can happen, but we're able to immediately rectify it.
After 4 elections in 4 months, Thomas and her staff are happy that elections are coming to a close. Especially in this election, the amount of absentee ballots submitted was large, and although Thomas was pleased with this, it can be a lot of work to calculate.
My tireless staff and I are very happy that this is the last election. 4 in 4 months was exciting, but in the same token, it was very, very tiring. The process is very lengthy. The amount of absentee ballot applications that we received up through 5 p.m. on Friday was incredible.
Thomas stated that it takes a team to ensure the success of each and every election, and admits that most residents don't realize who and what is involved.
I want to take a moment to thank everybody from the DPW department to the Public Facilities Department, to my constables, wardens, clerks, and inspectors. It takes a full team to make this very successful.
As Lisa just said, successful elections take a team of people, and this year 4 students from the high school were included on this mission as they did their part at one polling site. Students aided poll workers with numerous tasks, but more importantly, they learned quite a bit about the voting process. In an attempt to involve our city's youth in the election process, 4 high school students from the National Honor Society program were recruited to spend their community service hours helping out at the polls.
Fortunately, we were able to come up with 4 for today, and these students are here and they've been assisting our regular inspectors at the incoming and the outgoing check-in booths. They're learning the process, and hopefully they'll come back in a few years and want to do it again.
Not only is this volunteer work just about completing community service hours, it's a chance to really learn how the voting process works.
One of the pillars of National Honor Society is community service, and every year we have to complete 20 hours of community service, 5 hours each term, to fulfill our requirements to stay in the society. And we do things such as helping out with the voting and doing some other charity work, food pantry, stuff like that.
I've always been interested in politics and everything, and I thought it'd be a great idea to find out how the polling actually works and everything, and the process from checking in to checking out and everything. So I think it was a great opportunity to learn more about really what goes into voting.
After helping out in Tuesday's election, Stephen McCarthy is sold. All students should be involved in this process, so they'll have a say in what lies ahead.
A lot of kids my age don't really know much about the voting process, not much into politics, but it's important because it's our future, so the younger kids, 18, they should register to vote right away and start voting.
Dan Stevens feels the same. He registered to vote the day after he turned 18 so he could voice his choice in this election.
A lot of people in my generation are pretty cynical and everything of politics and politicians and everything, but if you really put out your vote and everything, it really is in your power, and I think a lot more kids my age need to learn that.
Poll warden Lee Woodworth states that including the youth in the voting process is especially crucial to their future and their lives.
The election process brings you in close with the candidates sometimes. It makes you aware of the issues that are going on. I think it gives you a greater incentive to want to participate in the election process and to know what issues are going on in your community.
Even though Attorney General Martha Coakley was defeated in Tuesday's Senate race, this city is now better off because of her. Marlborough and Framingham will each receive a $150,000 grant under a program to address foreclosures and ward off blight. The money comes from a $10 million settlement Coakley reached last year with Fremont General Corporation after accusing firms of making loans they knew would fail.
The Walker Building may soon be home to the school department's administrative offices after the Finance Subcommittee and School Committee last week recommended using money from this year's budget for a potential move. Director of Public Facilities John Galoni stated that the funding for the renovation of the Walker Building and the move to the vacant Main Street property would come from the district's fiscal 2010 budget, including a capital request from the City Council. The total cost of the move is unknown until the heating, ventilating, and air conditioning costs are available. Galoni expects the capital request will go before the City Council sometime in February. Moving the administrative offices to the Walker Building would add about 4,000 square feet of office space and would provide space for potential staff expansions. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
Local students interested in preparing for the upcoming MCAS testing are encouraged to participate in the Saturday Support Program, which began on January 16th. The program serves students looking to improve their scores in either English, mathematics, or both. All classes will take place on Saturday mornings beginning at 9 a.m. and lasting until noon at Marlborough High School. These classes will be available through March 27th, and regular attendance is crucial. To register, please contact Rick Lucina at 508-460-3502. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, Marlborough Hospital wins an impressive award. But first, despite the down economy, one local bank continues to expand. We'll have that story when we come back. Please stay with us.
Firefighter Mark, back with a winter ice safety tip for you. Daily changes in temperatures cause the ice to expand and contract, which affects its strength. If someone does fall through the ice, act quickly and call 911 immediately. Do not go out on the ice to help someone who has fallen in. Would-be rescuers become victims themselves. Extend a branch, pole, or ladder to the victim. Cold water does not have to be icy. It just has to be colder than you are to cause hypothermia. And hypothermia can be deadly. And remember, the only safe ice is at the ice rink.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Despite the down economy, Marlborough Savings Bank continues to build, and their new future location on Granger Boulevard is beginning to take shape. We visited the future site and spoke with a representative on Wednesday to learn more.
We're very excited that they started placing the steel up yesterday, and we will looking forward to the future developments of Marlborough Savings Bank that will be here in late summer.
Marlborough Savings Bank broke ground on this future site back in late spring of 2009. Then, just an empty lot with a pile of dirt has now turned into a snow-laden, steel-topped lot with lots of potential.
This building will house our main office and also our executive team. We are going to have 3 floors, and the most exciting thing for our customers is we're going to have 25 parking spots for our customers, which will be wonderful for the customers to do their banking.
Work will continue through the rest of the winter months and into the spring, with completion expected by July or August.
We are very excited about expanding and serving our customers. And I think another great thing is right now we were housed in 2 separate buildings. Our loan center was in a separate building, but now we are all the loan center will be here as well, which I think will be very convenient for our customers.
On to another business doing well. Our local Marlborough Hospital recently won an award for increasing patient safety and reducing medical errors this month. This is the first year the hospital has pursued this award, and the hospital exceeded all expectations, beating out some big names in Boston.
Most times it's university, large teaching hospitals that receive this, but this year, small community hospital in our neighborhood was recognized for giving excellent, safe care, so we're really proud and excited about that.
Marlborough Hospital and UMass Memorial Medical Center, both part of the UMass Memorial Healthcare System, were recipients of the 2009 Betsy Lehman Patient Safety Recognition Award for increasing patient safety and reducing medical error. The title may be a mouthful, but basically, Marlborough Hospital received the award because staff reduced the number of healthcare-associated infections and promoted a culture of safety. The award is quite an honor for a community hospital competing with big city institutions. Some past recipients include New England Baptist Hospital, Massachusetts General Hospital, and Brigham and Women's Hospital, all in Boston. The Betsy Lehman Award was established in 2005 and named for a Boston Globe reporter who died in 1994 after a hospital error led to a chemotherapy overdose.
In response to that, they established the Betsy Lehman Center, which provides education and sharing of information to prevent medical errors from occurring in hospitals.
Barry stated Marlborough Hospital recorded a 13-month period where there were no central line blood infections. Also noted were the hospital's efforts in getting staff to wash their hands, increasing the number of influenza vaccinations, and preventing pneumonia in intensive care patients.
There's been a lot of illness this year, so we're pleased to say that we've gotten our rates up from 81 to 99%. That's well above a lot of the hospitals in our state.
The award also solidifies that the hospital is moving in the right direction. New programs are on the horizon. The hospital will become a teaching site for UMass Medical School. Starting in March, students will be able to rotate through the hospital. Despite the great new programs, it's the staff, however, Barry stressed, who should be credited with winning this award.
The clinical staff every day work very hard to make sure that we have the right equipment, safe equipment, and great practices here. So I'd like to thank them and acknowledge them for the hard work they do every day.
To continue with, the hospital has now announced the availability of the Herbert Buster McLaren Nursing Scholarship. This is awarded annually to high school seniors and to those post-high school who are planning to pursue a degree in the nursing field. Those who are interested in learning more about the scholarship may contact the Education Department at Marlborough Hospital at 508-486-5871. Applications must be received by March 31st, 2010. Well, on to more health services. The Board of Health conducted an H1N1 clinic this past Tuesday afternoon following a citywide dispensing clinic that occurred earlier this month. If you still haven't received your vaccine, there are more clinics to come.
There are still vaccines remaining from the city's January 9th citywide H1N1 clinic, which treated about 900 people. The Board of Health would like to encourage all residents to take this opportunity to protect against H1N1 flu by getting vaccinated, especially for those at higher risk of complications from the flu. The vaccine is free, and residents should bring insurance cards to clinics, which will be held in room 109 of the Walker Building at 255 Main Street on Tuesdays from 2 to 4.
Coming up, 2010 winter programs, summer triathlon news, plus we'll have this week's sports wrap-up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Recreation Department has announced their 2010 winter programs. For a complete list or to register, please call 508-624-6925. And you can also visit their website. Just log into marlborough-ma.gov and click the recreation link. Well, it may be winter, but talks about the city's summer triathlon is building as local athletes are beginning to sign up for the challenge. And just in case you didn't know, Marlborough turns 350 this year, so to celebrate, this year's event will be even bigger and better than last year. Here are some details. The second Marlborough Triathlon is scheduled for August 1st, but the race is already starting to heat up. Race director Bill Burnett states the triathlon is at 40% of its limit of 550 participants. More than 500 competitors swam, cycled, and ran in the first Marlborough Triathlon, which took place last July. The course is the same as last year's, a 1/3 mile swim in the Fort Meadow Reservoir, a 15-mile bike ride consisting of 3 5-mile loops around the reservoir, and a 3.2-mile run ending at Marlborough High School. The looped course for the biking and running portions provides a good experience for spectators who can see the athletes come through a number of times. The race was founded by Burnett, professional triathlete Jared Shoemaker, and Tim Crowley, Shoemaker's coach and a Marlborough resident. This year's race will be part of Marlborough's 350th anniversary celebration this year. The race is part of the Commonwealth Triathlon Series, which also includes events in Cohasset, Nantucket, and Scituate. Relay teams can participate in the race as well. This year's event hopes to draw in several elite athletes, including Dick and Rick Hoyt. The father-son racing team from Hopkinton, who participated last year, intends to return. For more information and to sign up for this race, visit marlboroughTri.com.
Today we have Emmanuel, and he's been here for a few weeks, and I'm not really sure why, because he's a really sweet dog who had the misfortune of being hit by a car pretty badly when he was in Puerto Rico. But he had some extensive surgeries, and he walks beautifully now. He's friendly, he's active, he seems to get along with other dogs. He's fairly young, I think maybe 1 or 2 years old. And he's just a really nice dog to take for a walk. He's going to make a great family companion. So if you're interested in Emmanuel, please feel free to call us at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
Rob O'Keefe here. Let's check out the sports update. This week we've got Panther girls basketball taking on Groton Dunstable. All eyes were on Emily Riley, who was just 6 points shy of 1,000 career points going into the game. As for the game itself, Marlborough fell behind early and had to play catch-up. Emily's teammates doing most of the scoring early on, senior Sarah Clark with a nice shot here. Then sophomore Samantha Kahn chips in with 2 of her own. In the second half, Sarah Clark again with a nice drive to the hoop. She would end up with 16 points on the day. And now the moment everyone was waiting for. It wasn't too long ago that Emily went 15 for 15 in a game from the foul line, so it was only fitting that her 1,000th career point would come on a foul shot. We'll have more from this historic moment later on. Back to the game now. Marlborough just couldn't catch up from their early deficit and went on to lose 49-53. They fall to 4-6 on the year. But as we mentioned, the big story was Emily Riley reaching 1,000 career points. Going into the weekend, she now has 1,033 career points. We caught up with her at practice to get her reaction.
Not many people can say that they've scored 1,000 points in their high school career. Like, I worked really hard for it, so it's something that I've always wanted to do. So once I've achieved it, it feels like a great accomplishment to have done.
Coach Pat Kiley has been there ever since Emily took her first steps onto the Marlborough High School gym floor. He's enjoyed watching her grow as a player through the years.
I think that one of the things that's been interesting to watch is how she has become a much stronger athlete. A lot of time in the weight room has really helped her a lot. She takes a pretty good physical pounding on the court. So the effort that she's put in the weight room in the off season all summer, 5 days a week, has really made a big difference for her. And I think that it has really helped her in all phases of the game. The other thing that I really have come to appreciate about Emily is how every season when she comes back, there's another element to the game that she's added. She has become a more confident player with her left hand. She's become a better pull-up jump shooter. So she's far from a one-dimensional player, and she certainly didn't get to a point where she had a good scoring season as a freshman or a sophomore and was ready to just settle for that. She wanted to continue to improve. So I think that's what I've seen most out of her over the course of 4 years, is how hard she's worked to improve her game.
So what's next for Emily? Where will we see her play next year?
I hope to play next year. I'm looking at a lot of D3 schools. I don't really know which one I'm going to go to yet, but that's what I'm looking to do.
Emily Riley has joined a very exclusive club. Only 5 other players in Panther hoop history have reached 1,000 career points. She is currently number 5 on that list, but keep in mind there are still 9 regular season games left, so the book on Riley is far from closed. Sticking with basketball, let's swing over to Assabet, where the young Assabet boys basketball team was looking for a win the other night against Whittier Tech. Nate Costello shined in this game, driving for 2 early. Costello led the Aztec offense with 18 points on the night. Derek Owens also had a great game. He would end up with 8 points. Whittier came into this game with a 7-4 record. Hector Pizarro is one of their better shooters. Here he is from downtown. Ryan Grant, who's only a freshman, was also impressive. He had 15 points on the day. However, AV coach Mike O'Brien was not impressed. Whittier had the lead the whole game. Assabet would come to within 5, but it would not be enough, and the struggling Aztec team falls to 1-11. However, the other Assabet hoop squad is on fire. We want to congratulate the Aztec girls basketball team, led by the Jubert sisters. They have already clinched a playoff berth with their 64-33 win over Bay Path earlier in the week. Their record now stands at 10-2 overall and 6-0 in the Colonial Athletic League, and it seems like this team is just getting better every week. Now on to some puck. The Panthers taking on rivals Algonquin, a team they beat handily earlier this season, 6-1. Picking up in the second period, Panthers up 1-0. Ryan Anzar, who scored the first goal, comes up with another one, with assists coming from Steve Coster and Jordan Hanahan. Marlborough with a 2-0 lead. 20 seconds later, Algonquin finds the net to put the Tomahawks on the board. And with 5 seconds left in the second period, Tom Lewis scores to tie the game at 2. In the third period, Marlborough had plenty of chances to score, but Algonquin goalie Andy Cobb had an outstanding game in the net. He had 24 saves, including 4 in a row on this absolute frenzy in front of the net, keeping the Panthers scoreless in the third. And Mike Horgan puts Algonquin ahead for good with this goal, which gave the Tomahawks a 3-2 lead. Marlborough drops to 7-4-1 on the season. They take on Shrewsbury this weekend, a team that they lost a close one to last week, 6-5. That's sports. We'll see you next week.
Still ahead, the Post Road Arts Center wants your heart art. But first, a look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Okay. Good night, honey. Can you kiss Smokey too? Sure, I can kiss Smokey too. Good night, Smokey. Sleep dreams, okay? Night, hon. I love you.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. The Post Road Arts Center is asking local artists to donate art with a heart to help fight breast cancer. Local artists can drop off a piece of unframed art that displays a heart in one form or another for a February silent auction. The drop-off dates for donations will run from January 25th to February 3rd at 1 Boston Post Road. Please call 508-485-2580 for answers to your questions. And before we go, the theme has been announced for this year's Mayor's Charity Ball, and it's called Neighbors Helping Neighbors. The ball will be taking place on March 20th. Tickets are $35 and formal attire is required. This year's event will mark its 15th year, and as always, proceeds will benefit the Mayor's Charity Fund. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough This Week, local, state, and federal officials announced millions of dollars in stimulus money for Marlborough to upgrade a specific facility. Marlborough residents are helping Haiti get back on their feet by heading there to help where they need it most. Plus, the confusion over Marlborough's 4 to 7 school may finally be over. And later in this half hour, an exchange program opens eyes at a local elementary school. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. As part of the Patrick Murray administration's Massachusetts Recovery Plan, local, state, and federal officials came together Monday morning to announce the city is receiving over $3 million in grants to upgrade the city's wastewater treatment plant. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more in this week's top story.
When the ARA stimulus funding package came up, I looked at it and said, we have the poster child project for this funding. And here we are today with an announcement of how that funding is going to affect our city.
The wastewater treatment plant projects in Marlborough and Westborough got big financial boosts in federal stimulus funding on Monday morning. At Marlborough City Hall, Lieutenant Governor Timothy Murray and U.S. Representative Jim McGovern stated that the awards are part of $185 million in federal funds for state water infrastructure and improvements created through the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. The Westborough treatment plan is on tap for $64 million in upgrades paid through a 20-year bond. Both projects are eligible for 11% debt forgiveness as part of the program.
At this time, nearly $800 million in projects are moving forward with construction of water infrastructure improvements, many of those beginning that work in April.
In announcing the award in Marlborough, McGovern stated that the city has received a total of $14 million in state and federal grants and loans to offset the total cost. The $14 million, he said, is about half the cost of the total project.
When added together, the federal stimulus funding, the state Moore grant, and the congressional earmarks amounts to nearly $14 million in state and federal assistance for the Westerly wastewater treatment plant, or almost 50% of the total project cost.
The Westerly plant is on the Marlborough-Northborough line and serves both communities. Increased capacity at that plant will allow for future growth on the west side of Marlborough and in Northborough.
One local nursing instructor is taking a trip in a few months, a trip that will change her life and the lives of others forever. Ellen Santos of Assabet Valley High School is going over to Haiti with a small group to help those who need it most. We spoke with her to see how she feels about this journey that's coming up in just 1 month.
We've been encouraged to be flexible, be ready to sleep anywhere, eat anything, and you know, it's a very enthusiastic group of people. I feel like it's going to be a very
powerful experience. And
For 17 years, Ellen Santos has been instructing licensed practical nursing students at Assabet Valley High School, but in March, her classroom setting will change drastically. Under the auspices of Bread of Compassion, a nonprofit humanitarian group out of Wayland, Massachusetts, Santos will spend 8 days assisting and teaching patients in Haiti. Santos will be leaving for Haiti on March 1st.
It's very unknown exactly what we're going to be walking into, but I feel that it's important, and I'm very excited to be joining this group.
Her role on the 20-person team will include dealing with wound care, scabies and lice, infections, dispensing antibiotics, and supplies.
What we're going to be doing is we'll be setting up clinics in different parts of Port-au-Prince. We will be in the city. We will set up each day, and from what I've been told, people will come and line up. And the kinds of services that we can provide will be primarily providing antibiotics. I'm hoping to bring large amounts of things like Motrin, Tylenol, Neosporin, those kinds of things that they don't have there. We expect to see many, many wound infections, probably lots of disease, febrile illnesses.
To prepare for the trip, Santos is trying to learn a few phrases in Creole, the native language, from her current students.
I have 2 students in my class right now who are from Haiti, who have been in contact with family members who are there.
It's very hard to see your loved one, people you knew, people you'd never met before, but still they're part of your life. It feels like your own sister and your own brothers out there. Dying or, trying to survive. So it's very hard.
It's just hard to know that people you know and you love, you don't know where they are. People are missing, people are dying, and you can't do anything. You feel helpless because you want to do so much and you can't.
Any donations of materials or money can be sent to Santos' attention at the school, Assabet Valley Regional High School, at 215 Fitchburg Street, Marlborough, Massachusetts, 01752.
1 month goes by, 2 months go by, you forget, but, they're still there. And it's not going to change for a lot of them. So definitely don't forget, and just remember, there's someone who's always going to need you.
Now, the help doesn't stop there. Anyone who has crutches, walkers, and canes that they're no longer using, the Recovery Connection will gladly take them. The Downtown Support Center at 31 Main Street is collecting medical equipment for those injured in the Haiti earthquake. Through February 10th, all donated items will be shipped to the Dominican Republic, where they will be driven to Port-au-Prince to those who need them. Well, devastation can attack a community at any time, and Marlborough is definitely doing its part to help those in Haiti. Locally, giving in the city occurs all year round, and at one event in particular, the giving goes through the roof. I'm talking about the annual Evening of Giving, and this past week volunteers celebrated as they found out the final donation total of the 2009 event. Last November, the whole community gathered for the 20th anniversary of the Evening of Giving, which raises funds to help support Roland's House, a local homeless shelter. About 34 restaurants came together to donate their time and their food to aid in this cause. 1,200 of our residents contributed as well, which helped to make the Evening of Giving of 2009 a successful one yet again. On Tuesday night, volunteers and supporters came together to celebrate at Welly's Restaurant on Main Street as a final donation total rolled in.
Tonight we're getting together, all the volunteers and people that dedicate year after year their wonderful time and efforts and talents to celebrate our success this year at raising over $30,000 that is going to be donated to Roland's House in Marlborough.
A check was presented to a representative from the South Middlesex Opportunity Council as the whole crowd looked on.
I'm here tonight to present a check in the amount of $34,500 to Susan Gentili from Smock and Roland's House. And I'd also like to thank Welly and all the restaurants in Marlborough and Hudson for their generosity, and all the people in Marlborough and Hudson for their generosity. Every year, it never ceases to amaze this committee of how wonderful the folks are, and especially in these tough economic times, this check will really make a difference. So thank you, everybody, and Susan, here you go.
Thank you,
congratulations.
Thank you,
Susan Gentili of SMOC could not be more thankful for the volunteer efforts that are put into this event every year.
The Evening of Giving really is a wonderful, uplifting event for all of the staff at our agency and all of the guests and the people that use Roland's House and need to stay there from time to time. We all really feel very supported and encouraged and valued in the community for the work that we do, and we really appreciate all of the volunteers and all of the people that turn out year after year. This is our 20th anniversary hosting this fundraiser, and we can always count on the support of the community. It's very appreciated.
Since we've been talking about residents lending a hand, we thought it would be a good idea to let you know that the Mayor's Office is now accepting nominations for the city's Humanitarian of the Year Award, which will be presented as part of the festivities at the upcoming Mayor's Charity Ball on March 20th. Nomination letters should be mailed to Mayor Nancy Stevens at City Hall. The deadline for nominations is March 1st.
A group of councilors at the City Council meeting Monday night stated the city should require residents to show identification when they vote. Residents would need to present identification at any municipal, state, or federal election. Besides driver's licenses, identification could also include utility bills or student IDs. The requirement could help prevent voter fraud, but on the other side, the state is pushing for the same-day registration, which could open the door to more voter fraud. The City Council referred the proposal to the Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee. The committee is expected to discuss a number of specifics, such as who would look at the identification at the polls and how the city would get the word out if the order passed. The 4-7 school is one step closer to a new name. Public Facilities Director John Galoni said Tuesday night that the Veterans Council voted to name the school after First Lieutenant Charles W. Whitcomb. City Code states that the school, as well as newly accepted streets and other newly built public buildings, must be named after deceased Marlborough veterans. The next step is a City Council vote. The school committee does not vote on the name. Discussions on the name change must take place for about 1 year. In other business, the school committee discussed the school department's new website at mps-edu.org. Assistant Superintendent James Jolliker stated that the transition to the new site happened over the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend. The department had a temporary website since October. The previous web provider had canceled its service. The site has contact information and directions for all of the schools. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
Continuing now with our schools, 6 Korean students are currently visiting the Immaculate Conception School, which is about 200 students in preschool through 8th grade. They're spending 6 weeks living with local families and attending IC through the International Student Exchange Program.
We're talking about out of 100.
Immaculate Conception School has welcomed 6 students from Korea to the school community and to the United States.
We were recommended to the program by St. Paul's School in Wellesley, and the ISTEP program selected 4 elementary schools within the Archdiocese of Boston for this exchange program, and we were fortunate enough to be one of those 4 schools. And we thought it was a wonderful opportunity to further broaden the horizons for our own school community.
The visiting students are residing with host families who have children the same age and have attended classes together for the past 4 weeks and will still be here for the next 2. Immaculate Conception School Principal Martha McCook commented that they are very honored to be one of the 4 schools in the Archdiocese to host Korean exchange students.
That it's really the opportunity of a lifetime to bring children from another culture with another language. And the world gets smaller every day, and if our students have the opportunity to be exposed to as many cultures and languages and traditions as possible, I think in the future generations will be even more international, and I think we have that opportunity to start them on that road right here.
Immaculate Conception School was founded in 1910, opened its doors in September of 1911, and has been serving the Metro West community for nearly 100 years. This is the first time that the school has conducted this exchange program.
It's been very positive. I mean, obviously it's a learning experience for all of us, but the host families have reacted very positively. The children have blended into the various families in different ways, and we've enjoyed having them in school. I think it's been very beneficial for our students to have the opportunity to meet children from really the other side of the world and to see what it's like when English is not your first language and how they can be of help.
ICS had already been involved in a cultural exchange before the Korean students arrived. Last September, Ann Chi-jo from China came to Marlborough to live with her aunt and uncle, Christine and Don McCormick. Ann began her education at ICS this past September. When asked how she's adjusting to America and her new school, Ann said with a great big smile,
I love this school so much.
Each week, a new Chinese phrase is added to a word wall at the school, and all students learn the correct pronunciation and meaning from Ann.
She has just been a blessing to us from the day she first stepped foot through the doors of the school. So I think we've learned so much from her. We were perhaps not as hesitant as other school communities might be in looking to further expand that possibility.
This Catholic co-educational school serves students 3 years of age through grade 8. IC's campus is centrally located in Marlborough. On Sunday, January 31st, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, IC School is offering an open house to all those who are interested in offering the gift of a Catholic education to their children. For more information about Marlborough's only Catholic elementary school, please visit their website at icschool.net.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, open burning season has begun. We have some safety tips for you regarding this practice, but first, a unique look at downtown Marlborough thanks to one local resident. We'll have that story when we come back. Please stay with us.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Mayor Nancy Stevens accepted a framed photograph of downtown Marlborough from one local resident on Thursday afternoon. Mr. Vito Amarelli donated the gift to Stevens, and as you're about to see, it's quite a unique look at our downtown area.
As you can see, I'm standing next to a beautiful photograph taken on Main Street of City Hall. And we came into possession of this photo. Mr. Amarelli had emailed it to the DPW just to show the photo. And it came to my attention, this beautiful photograph of our downtown area. And we had looked at it and said it would have a perfect place in City Hall. And at the time, with the finances as they are, we didn't have the money to frame it and put it up. But Mr. Amarelli was so pleased with this photograph that he took it upon himself to have this framed and matted so that we can hang it in City Hall, and it's going to have a prominent place in my office. So I'm so thrilled about it. This is such a unique photograph. Will you tell us a little bit about how you came to take this photograph and the time of day?
It just happened to be sort of a Harry Potter-ish, foggy, misty, early morning, one or the other. And so it just looked good, and I generally carry a camera with me all the time. So I stopped, got out in the middle of the street, hoped I didn't get arrested, and then took the picture. So I was even surprised at how well it came out.
Mayor Nancy Stevens and a search committee have recommended a Maine fire chief to lead the city's fire department. Fire Chief David Adams is retiring this year. Ricky Plummer is the fire rescue chief and public safety director in Gray, Maine. He has more than 30 years of experience. The Personnel Committee will hold several meetings on the appointment, and the full City Council will make the final vote. And staying with our fire department for just another moment, January 15th marked the beginning of burning season. The city of Marlborough is one of the few towns around the area that allows residents to burn things such as brush and lawn debris. We met with firefighter Mark Asenko to receive some safety tips that you'll need to know if you decide to practice this method.
Rule number 1, you must have a permit if you want to burn outdoors. It costs just $10.
Basically, you can burn brush from your residential property, twigs, branches, things like that. Cannot burn any tree stumps, and absolutely no construction materials, pressure-treated wood or anything from, building construction from your house.
If you live in an area of the city where open burning is allowed, call the Marlborough Fire Department to request a permit. You can begin to burn after 10 a.m. in the morning, and you must have the fire put out by 4 p.m. The fire department requests that you never use gasoline or other flammable liquids to start a fire, and if you think the fire is getting out of control, call 911 right away.
Basically, you want to use kindling, paper, dry twigs that you have collected around your residential area. You do not want to use any type of flammable liquid such as kerosene or gasoline.
The fire must always be attended, and the responsible person should always have tools and water handy to keep the fire from getting out of control. If you leave it unattended, your permit may be revoked.
Don't leave the fire unattended for obvious reasons. It could take off on you, and you may have you will have a bigger problem on your hands.
Coming up, local Boy Scout troops hold a Pinewood Derby race. Plus, we'll have this week's sports wrap-up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Firefighter Mark, back with a winter ice safety tip for you. Daily changes in temperatures cause the ice to expand and contract, which affects its strength. If someone does fall through the ice, act quickly and call 911 immediately. Do not go out on the ice to help someone who has fallen in. Would-be rescuers become victims themselves. Extend a branch, pole, or ladder to the victim. Cold water does not have to be icy. It just has to be colder than you are to cause hypothermia. And hypothermia can be deadly. And remember, the only safe ice is at the ice rink.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. The Boy Scouts of this community took a time out to have some fun and raise some money this past Saturday as they participated in a Pinewood Derby, and we were there. Take a look. On Saturday, January 23rd, the Immaculate Conception Pack 24 hosted a citywide Pinewood Derby race. All packs in Marlborough participated. The Pinewood Derby is a racing event for Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts of America.
One of the sayings of Cub Scouts is fun with a purpose. So this is kind of the fun, and the purpose is kind of doing community service, things like that. So it's really just a fun annual activity that they've always done traditionally.
Scouts, with the help of their parents, build their own cars from wood, usually from kits containing a block of pine, plastic wheels, and metal axles, and then race them on a professionally manufactured racetrack. Our local derby took place in Immaculate Conception's Meehan Hall, and as you can see, it was buzzing with excitement from all the Scout troops.
So they just love it. I mean, the parents do have to help out, make the cars, but the kids really do get involved, designing with the designs and things, so they really, really love it.
All Scouts took their time to make the perfect race car.
It was a red canoe with red and white stripes on it, so to make it red, white, and blue. And I had a guy in it holding a paddle, and I got in first place because he was paddling along. It took me one day to carve it and paint it, and then my dad put the wheels on it, and he did some other stuff to it.
It might look like fun and games, but to these Scouts, in order to win, you had to create a car with specific attributes to ensure a fast finish. Some Scouts got quite detailed.
I had a car that had well, it's not really just any shape. It's really a design that has a very slanted front, and then the back has a sort of a much curve. More of a curve than a slant. And so the wind goes over it rather than through it.
The Pinewood Derby is a day of fun for everyone, but in addition to that, it was a fundraiser for those in Haiti who have been affected by the recent disaster. Thanks to a concession stand, the troops will be able to help those less fortunate.
We always try to put something into the day if we can, and certainly this year there's a big purpose for that.
Today we have Peppy, and Peppy is very peppy. That's how he got his name. He's a very rambunctious young fella. He's about 5.5 to 6 months old now. He came to us from the rescue group in Puerto Rico. He's good with other dogs, but he does play a bit rough. He definitely needs a lot of training and tons of exercise too. So if you're up for it, please call us at the shelter. The number is 978-443-6990. Hey, Pep!
Hello Marlborough, Rob O'Keefe back with another sports update. One of the hottest teams in Central Mass, the Assabet Valley girls basketball team, taking on Worcester Tech this week. We start off with who else but the Jubert sisters. Soto throws up a nice shot, and somehow in a sea of blue, Vanessa Jubert comes up with a rebound, the 2 points, and the foul. The Sister Act at it again, coming through on defense this time. Chelsea with the steal tips to Vanessa, who takes it all the way to the basket for 2 more. Vanessa had 15 points and 11 rebounds on the day. The Aztecs with some good ball movement. This time Chelsea with a shot from 3-point land. Chelsea ends up with high 17 points. Kayla McLean, who had 9 points on the day, chips in with 2 of her own. A scary moment for Assabet came when Melanie Estevez collides with a Worcester player and falls hard to the ground. She was able to get up on her own but left the game. The Aztecs march on to another win and remain perfect, 7-0 in the Colonial Athletic League and 11-2 overall. There's absolutely no quit in the Marlborough Lady Panthers, and they're coming on strong in the second half of the season. They took on Quabbin earlier in the week. The senior duo of Emily Riley to Sarah Clark is good for 2 points. 8th grader Justine Butler, with hands in her face, shows she can play down low. She picked up her first career double-double with 10 points and 10 rebounds. The underclassmen for Marlborough coming up big in this game. Sophomore Samantha Kahn with a shot from downtown picks up 3. And what would a Panther highlight reel be without a montage of great shots by the newest member of the 1,000-point club, Emily Riley. Driving to the hoop in a forest of arms, she draws the foul and picks up 2 points. And just when you think she can't outdo herself, she makes this shot off balance and in midair. She had 23 points on the night. Marlborough by 12 at the half. In the second half, Marlborough picked up right where they left off. Freshman Amanda Monfalcone, who, in addition to chipping in on offense, came up with 11 rebounds. Quabbin made the final score respectable, but they were never really in it. The Panthers picked up another win later in the week and are now 7-6 overall and 6-2 in Midwalk B. One more basketball note, the Panther boys basketball team has already clinched a spot in the postseason for the 5th straight year. They had a win earlier this week, beating Gardner in a rout 73-46. Their record now stands at 11-3 overall and 7-1 in Midwalk B. The Panther offense is led this year by junior Zach Auguste, who has already caught the eye of many college scouts and has received a verbal offer from Quinnipiac University. Don't forget he's only a junior. Last week, in a 70-67 win over Quabbin, he recorded his 4th triple-double of the season. Finally, in hockey, the Panthers took on rival Hudson on Wednesday, hoping to avenge an earlier loss to the Hawks back in December. Hudson's starting goalie CJ Flannery was out with strep throat, so it was up to Brian Tomzik to hold off the high-flying Panther offense. Hudson scored on a power play late in the first period. Senior Dan Brunn somehow finds a hole in the top corner of the net to put Hudson up 1-0. In the second period, the Hawks putting more pressure on goalie Eric Carlson. Sean O'Keefe on a pass from Brian Fahey shows some fancy footwork to put the puck in the net. 2-0 Hudson. 2 minutes later, Sean Parker made the score 3-0, scoring on his own rebound. Marlborough wasn't without opportunities though, but backup goalie Brian Tomzik was solid, stopping all 21 shots he faced.
Hanahan one time, in on Tomczyk, tipped by Eric Roberts.
The Panthers' best chance of scoring came on a breakaway by Mike Gatsunis, who was tripped up and awarded a penalty shot. But Tomczyk proved he was ready for prime time by flashing the pad for the stop, which up to this point was probably the biggest play of his career. Marlborough would remain scoreless, and Hudson goes on to win 4-0. That's it for sports. Back to Kristen.
Still ahead, one local facility needs your help. But first, a look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Every 2 seconds, someone in America needs blood. Nearly 5 million Americans will need a life-saving blood transfusion this year alone.
Every blood donation can save up to 3 lives. While many people know about the chronic shortage in the blood supply across the country, very few people are doing anything about it.
We need your help. Giving blood is easy. It only takes about an hour of your time.
Be a hero. Be a blood donor. Help us save a life.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Before we go, Special Olympics Massachusetts is looking for enthusiastic, friendly volunteers to staff their front desk from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday in 4-hour shifts. Training will be provided, and for more information, please contact Martha Dove at 508-485-0986, extension 219. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week.